Velma was heavily responsible for the coup d'etat of Tannu in 1929, things like executing the Prime Minister Don de Coular, along with about half of the Tuvan People's Revolutionary Party. She forced farmers and nomadic cow breeders into collectivization programs. She decided to cut the capital off from contact with outside sources of supplies, putting the city under siege. Second, she enforced tight control over people trying to leave the city through the Tuvan Autonomous Oblast. She also ordered a series of general purges of former government officials and anyone with an education. A set of new prisons were also constructed in areas under communist control. The Zhuang minority attempted an uprising in order to stop the destruction of their culture. The uprising was quickly crushed, and Velma ordered that harsh physical torture be used against most of those involved in the revolt. Velma tested out harsh new policies against the Zhuang minority before extending them to the general population of the country. The party also had a policy of evacuating urban areas and forcibly relocating the residents to the countryside. When the party took the town of Beletsarsk, she and other members of the party were shocked at how fast the liberated urban areas shook off socialism and went back to the old ways. Various ideas were tried in order to recreate the town in the image of the party, but nothing worked. In 1933, she decided out of total frustration that the only solution was to send the entire population of the town to the fields in the countryside. She wrote at the time, "If the result of so many sacrifices was that the capitalists remain in control, what was the point of the revolution?" Shortly after, she ordered the evacuation of the 15,000 Zhuang people for the same reasons. In 1935, she had purged a top party official named Aldar. He was taken out into a forest and shot without being given any chance to defend himself. His death was followed by a purge of cadres who, like Aldar, were ethnically Slavic. Her explanation was that the class struggle had become acute, requiring a strong stand against party enemies. In 1936, Velma's regime reclassified Tuvans into three groupings: those with full rights, those who are candidates for full rights, and those with no rights, also known as depositees. This last group were so called because they included most of the new people who had been deposited from the cities into the communes. Depositees were marked for destruction. Their rations were reduced to 2 bowls of rice soup or papa a day, leading to widespread starvation. The party's leadership boasted over the state-controlled radio that only 1 or 2 million people were needed to build the new agrarian socialist utopia. Hundreds of thousands of the new people, and later the depositees, were taken out in shackles to dig their own mass graves, as the party soldiers buried them alive. A Tuvan extermination prison directive ordered, "Bullets are not to be wasted. Such mass graves are often referred to as the killing fields."